What is up, Hammerheads? Welcome back to the Forge. Today, we're honing our skills. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so let me talk about what I meant by honing our skills and what I see it as anyways. And it's pretty close to the definition. Honing your skills is practicing something or working on something till you get it down pat. That's the gist of the definition. And that's what I want to do in this video series. And they're not going to be like lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the course of the next few weeks. They're going to be more sporadic videos that'll pop up talking about different techniques before we work on certain projects. So honing our skills in this series, we're going to be working on honing the skills of blacksmithing, working on different techniques, and working on different, trying to think of the right word, or working with different items to help you practice without wasting material. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be using modeling clay, and this is non-hardening modeling clay. I picked this up at Michael's. I think it was like it's under 10 bucks for the 4-pack I got. And I took 2 of the pieces and I formed them together. And the benefit of using non-hardening modeling clay is it reacts almost like steel does. Now, when you go to hammer on it, don't smash it, you're tapping, okay? This is one of the times when I'm gonna tell you in beginning blacksmithing, you're gonna tap. You're barely gonna hit this, and it's gonna start forming and pushing the material. It'll draw the material out. You can, longer or wider, you can put fullers in. There's a lot you can do with this practicing. Now, a disclaimer on that is you can't do anything super long. So if you're wanting to make like a really long J-hook and you don't know how and you want to practice with this, you can do it, but it's not going to be forging it. You're just going to be shaping it into a hook, and you're going to get the gist of the idea because it's too flimsy. Also, when you work this a lot and it starts warming up, it gets extremely soft. So if you're planning on doing a project, I left mine in the coldest room of my house, which is in my kitchen, dining room, living room area. And I left it where it would stay good and cool, and it's firm enough now to work how I need to work it. So I would love to take credit for this to be my idea, but it's really not. I got this idea from a DVD series called A Blacksmith's Primer, which is a great DVD series. I'm sure you can find it streaming somewheres, YouTube somewheres, that you can watch it. I'm not sure if they still produce the videos or anything like that anymore. It's been about 15 years since I watched it. But in the video, the blacksmith in there, and I do apologize, I don't remember his name either, and I didn't think to look it up beforehand. But the blacksmith in the video uses the non-hardening modeling clay to make a hardy tool for his anvil, and showed that with this you can practice with the modeling clay making some smaller items. Like I said, you know, if you're making a big hook, it's going to be a little bit harder. But making some smaller items or making items for your anvil that you don't want to waste a really thick piece of steel for. So I'm going to pull you in close, guys, and we're going to start making a hardy tool with some clay. All right, guys, so I'm going to walk you through this process, okay? In this process, we're not really doing half on, half off blows. We are right in front of our material, right at the edge of the anvil. Pull back a little bit. And I'm barely tapping it, but it's reacting like it would if it was a piece of steel. Now I'm flipping on all 4 sides because I want to make a good shoulder. And I'm making my tang for my hardy tool. Now, as I said, this will react just like steel will. See how it's starting to form everything out. Now it is a little sticky, but that right there fits down in my hardy hole. But you can see it catches right there. Now if you push this down in the hardy hole and hammer on top of it while it's hot, it'll make those sorry guys, it'll make those same indentions. So then you would heat your material up and you start tapping it down from the top. And then it starts forming your shoulder. Now, I would cut off some of the material if this was an actual hardy tool I was making, or depending on the tool that I was making. So it wasn't so long because this is a very thick piece of material. But just for this purpose, I'm not going to cut it off. I'm just going to show you the next technique, which will be start hammering down and making a taper. Now I don't want it to be super wide, but you got to be careful. See how it's starting to make that lip in the center? That's where it'll quilt over on itself and you can get a cold shut. Flip it over, work the other side. Don't worry about this section here, because if this was an actual hardy tool we were making, we would be cutting off the majority of that anyways and grinding it out into our point, or filing it, or whatever it is you need to do. Now get up here close to the edge. Flip it. It's getting a little off kilt. But right there would be our hardy tool, bud, or guys. I don't know why I said bud. And it would fit in our hardy hole. But it gives you an idea of everything that you're doing. Now, you can see that it ripped right there. That would actually happen with your steel. If you hammer on the sides too much, it'll start quilting over on itself. And you've got to make sure that you're working both sides, so one side is not sharper than the other side on your angle. Now, if you want it to be that way because you're making a particular kind of chisel or punch or whatever, then leave it however it's going. But it shows you what you're doing, and the clay itself, if I hit in a few spots wrong, will show, and I did very extreme with the peen, but it shows where your hammer marks will be and will let you know that you're hitting it not straight. So everything's not smooth. You can see that the hammer marks are right here. But this is a simple, easy way to hone your skills if you are working on something you've never made before. It'll help you grow your technique and hone your skills. All right, guys, so let's get real for a minute and talk about what we learned today. Well, I showed you what you can do with some modeling clay to be able to practice and honing skills without wasting material. Now, I didn't go into detail about how to make the hardy tool. I just was showing basically how to use the clay. But it's really handy, and it easily forms back up when you're using it. Now, when you go to buy this, all the clay looks the same whenever you're going to buy it, especially in the packs. The hardening clay and the non-hardening clay look exactly the same. I'll try to leave a link in the description to an Amazon to pick some up if I can find some that I think is good. But I'll do my best to leave in the description a link to Amazon. But if you're by Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of the stores, or even probably Walmart, make sure it says non-hardening. And you can use it over and over and over and over again until it just gets too nasty, or I don't really know if it'll ever eventually harden up. I'm sure it will. It's probably similar to Play-Doh, where it will eventually lose some of the, it'll start cracking more, I guess, as you're using it. It'll start drying out, it'll lose the moisture. I try to keep mine in just a Ziploc bag, so it, at least keeps some stuff from getting in it, or if it gets too nasty. You get a 4-pack of them, and you're able to use the other ones for other projects. Now, if you are making a hook or making something that is going to be very flimsy, you can, in my mind, because I haven't done it because I haven't had a need to, but thinking about it, you can still make a hook or make something that's longer. You're just not going to be able to hammer it out. You're going to actually have to form it. But even in forming it, if you're rolling it out and stretching and moving the clay to make a leaf, hook, whatever it is that you're trying to make, or whatever project, you can still form this on a table and look at it and go, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. And if you're up in your shop with it, you can go over and check throughout your build to say, okay, it's starting to make that shape. Okay, this is what I have to do to get it to make that shape. And it's at least going to help you along in your processes. Guys, I hope this video was informative to you, and I hope it helped you out. It helped me out a ton whenever I actually remembered to start using the clay again, to start working on some projects of some things I've never made before, and I'm not wasting steel. And that's, with steel prices the way they are, guys, that's really why I want to do this video, is because I wanted you to see there is a medium where you can go and get something to where you're not wasting steel on some of the projects. Not all projects. Some projects you're just going to have trial and error. But on some of your projects, to at least help save you some money and help hone your skills without having to waste, again, propane or fuel or anything. It's a good money saving hack, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sorry I was rambling on that. But guys, that's the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will see you on the next one. God bless. Keep hammering.